Hello, everyone. Today, I'd like to talk about AC/DC. Technically speaking, it's really that genre of music. So the hard rock, heavy metal, I'd say in the '80s, late '70s, '80s, that genre of music. So AC/DC. Trying to think who. Van Halen. Although Van Halen, for some reason, has always been considered classic rock, like they wouldn't be playing on the stations you would listen to AC/DC, put it this way. They would be more into the traditional classic rock with Led Zeppelin and all that. But same era though. So Van Halen, we're talking about Poison, we're talking about Metallica, we're talking about oh gosh, there's probably a lot I can't think of because it's not really my genre of music. Who's the other one I'm trying to think of that's very popular? Oh, GNR, Guns N' Roses. So growing up listening to radio on a radio station, AC/DC and those groups, hard rock, late '70s, '80s, weren't really played outside of one radio station, and that would be the modern rock station. And at that time, it was mainly the grunge era of music. So we're talking about like Nirvana, REM, even though REM is not grunge, but that type of era, the early '90s rock hits at that time, those were them. So REM, I like to say Pearl Jam, those groups. So mainly the grunge era groups, and then they would also play some of like AC/DC and even like The Cure, things like that. So they would play some of that, but mainly grunge music or grunge era bands. And that's a radio station I hardly listen to if I had a chance. It's not my thing. And outside of the Nirvana and so forth, when they start playing like AC/DC, I kind of turn a dial because it's hard to explain. So they're categorized as hard rock, maybe slash heavy metal. I don't think they're that heavy in that sense, but it seems like from every iteration of since the British invasion, you got the Beatles, and I don't think anyone considers the Beatles hard rock by any means. It's just rock. They consider the Rolling Stones harder, the bad boys of that era, but they're really tame you compare to what comes after. So what you got the Who that came later, which I feel is a bit harder. Led Zeppelin, definitely harder, and then keep going on till you hit like you got I think the start of the real hard rock heavy metal is Black Sabbath, right? And even then, I can listen to their music. Black Sabbath, not Ozzy Osbourne, but Black Sabbath is okay. But from there on out, you got Kiss, you got, AC/DC. All those groups got really hard, okay? Now, for some reason, outside of Van Halen, and I don't, and I'll bring up Van Halen a little later, but groups like AC/DC, to me, that type of music is it's just loud. I don't know how to explain it, but it doesn't seem to have any rhythmish or the harmonies and so forth either is not emphasized or is just non-existent. It's just literally constant guitar drumming, and the singing is just I think it trended towards screaming, just loud screaming. I'm not saying they're not singing, but it's just a lot of yelling. I think Led Zeppelin kind of started that with Robert Plant just screaming his, that Led Zeppelin is good. I like Led Zeppelin. I don't consider them my favorite of the hard rock type groups, but that's another discussion for another day. But with AC/DC, reason why I want to discuss them is because I do like this album. I have to admit, and really only for two songs. It's one of those albums, groups that I don't really like, but I actually bought their album because, well, it's always been considered a classic, right? Back in Black, and besides Back in Black and You Shook Me, those two songs, I know those two songs well and they're okay. So that's one of the few albums I would buy from a band that I technically don't like or the genre of music I don't like to listen to. But The reason why I brought this up, I gave AC/DC a chance because, and that genre of music a chance, the hard rock from the 80s. Mainly because I figured if they're live in concert, there's more leeway to do stuff that might be restricted when you're doing a studio album. And I would think maybe in concert they might actually be better, for at least for me, more listenable. Maybe the guitar riffs are better. Maybe they'll extend it, they'll do something kind of different that I may actually like to listen to more than the original album version. That was my hope anyway. So I got this. Everyone kind of at the time recommended me this to listen to or watch this AC/DC. And this is Stiff Upper Lip. This is the live concert in 2001. I got this in probably 05, 2005. And for concerts like this and any music concert, I usually give it first try, the the first listen all the way through. I'm not going to skip anything. Even there are songs that I know I don't like from any artist's concert. I'm just going to give it a good listen because who knows, the concert version might be a good version of it, and give a different opinion if anything. So I gave this a shot from front to back. Okay, and I'm going to say this for this group in 2001. I'm assuming that's when they recorded this, or maybe in 2000. They sound basically the same as at least this album, Back in Black. I mean, I can't really tell the difference of, and we're talking about like 20 years later when they did this in concert. So for just listening to the concert, it's not bad. If you really like AC/DC and their music, this concert doesn't stray far from the music in terms of how they sound, how they play, and so forth. They're almost exactly like the studio album. So if you like the studio stuff, I highly recommend you to actually take a look at this and watch this. This is not a bad concert, okay? For AC/DC fans. Okay, so get that out of the way. When I watched this, it actually emphasized my thinking of AC/DC and that genre of hard rock, 80s hard rock. Okay, so I didn't really, nothing changed my opinion. It to me is still just loud music, just loud. Guitar is loud, the singing is loud, screaming, everything. And I never got into any of the songs, even the songs that I knew. And again, there were two songs I knew, Back in Black and You Shook Me All Night Long, those two songs. Yeah, I do know rock. There's this other one called, what is it called? Rock and roll ain't noise pollution. Okay, I'm pretty sure that I've heard that song before. It's a popular song. Every time I hear that title though, rock and roll is not noise pollution, the first thing that comes into mind is, but your music is. So okay, I'm not dissing. I'm not trying to diss AC/DC or really that hard rock genre, but that's what it is. It's just noise. I wouldn't, maybe not noise pollution is too strong, but it's just noise. I can't discern any good melodies, any good hooks. It's just, yes, there's guitar riffs, and this guy, I can for sure. This guy here, he's the lead guitarist. His name is Angus Young. I'm pretty sure that's him. He's really the main guy of AC/DC. Yeah, there's the lead singer. The lead singer is Brian Johnson, but man, they're showcasing the lead guitarist here, Angus Young. He's pretty much the main guy on the stage in front, doing his guitar thing, and I'm pretty sure from a musicianship, a guitar playing standpoint, this guy is top notch, no doubt about it. I mean, I'm pretty sure the stuff he does, I don't think many people can do, period, all right, on a guitar. But there's a few songs on here. I don't know what it was. Was it Bad Boy Boogie, or even For Those About to Rock, We Salute You? I don't know which one it is, but it was kind of like from the second half on. They're doing extended versions, and I was kind of hoping to hear the extended versions, and maybe there'd be pretty cool guitar riffs, some pretty interesting drumming beats or something like that. But no, I mean it's more of the same, if not extended versions of the stuff I actually hate. So here, Angus Young, I don't know which song it was, but he's going on like 3, 4, 5 minutes when the song is pretty much done, right? And he's just doing this guitar thing. Guitar, I don't even know if you would call it a riff or something, guitar solo, but it's more of a solo. Yes, it's a solo. And I don't know, it's just bad. I mean, for me, it doesn't, I wouldn't, not bad in like bad playing, but it doesn't hook me into the song itself. It actually makes me want to skip it. And there's points in time when I had the remote control playing on a DVD player, and I was like, man, I wanted to skip this track or at least fast forward a bit. But again, I always tell myself, give first listen a try all the way through. Don't do anything to skip it or anything, even if you don't like it. Just give it a shot. And there were times when I almost couldn't hold it. I had to press skip or at least fast forward. And again, there's this song where he's going, the guitarist was going, just doing his thing, and they actually stopped playing in the back. He's just guitar. He probably had something wireless or some long wire I couldn't see, and he's just going across the stage in the middle, going around on a floor like a dog or something, and just playing, and then walking back up to this like section up. There's this like, I forgot what it was, but he could climb up there and walk and then play as well. And he just kept doing that for like 5 minutes straight, and that really, I couldn't take it. I literally could not take that. Mainly because the guitar it was just loud. It's just like someone playing really loud, and it doesn't have any melodic feel or any riff that you can, go on, bounce your head to, or at least listen. It's just loudness and just going for 5 minutes plus straight, it seemed like. So, and all the solos to me seem like that. He did quite a few on each one. There might not be as long, but there's just stuff that once he got to the solo part, I could tell right away. It's just listening to it, I'm like, oh gosh, it's just, I gotta like close my ears sometimes. So again, concert from a sound perspective, how it sounds sounds fantastic. I mean, it doesn't stray from their original studio albums, but just the music itself, and I can say this for pretty much most of that hard rock genre of the 80s, it's stuff that even in concerts I won't like, and mainly because I don't hate it, but it's not something I like to listen to, and mainly because there's just no feel. I get no feel into it. It just never captures me anything. It's just to me it's just loud. Either the singing or even the guitar playing, it's just loud. And I don't know how to explain it from a music perspective, what that term or terms would be, but to me it's just loud music with no decent hooks, no melody. There's no it doesn't seem to be any harmony involved. It's just how good you can shred a guitar and how you can sing and just make it loud constantly for practically every song. And that's another thing too. Outside of a couple of riffs that I know, guitar riffs, the whole damn thing sounds the same. I mean, every song going on, it just sounds the same with the same singer singing, but he doesn't even change his voice or anything. He's just pretty much screaming or singing at that same tone. And it gets irritating. And I already got pretty much irritated halfway through until all of a sudden they're doing these, the lead guitarist is doing all these extended solos, which really irritated me. I really couldn't stand it. So, I don't know. You tell me what you think. There's a lot of opinions with that type of genre of the hard rock, especially the 80s hard rock. Hard rock, 70s Led Zeppelin, I give Jimmy Page all the credit in the world. That guy, damn fantastic guitarist. It's not loud, just loud, but dude can do a riff and solo like no other. I mean, there's a reason why he's considered like one of the top guitarists of all time. But Led Zeppelin is his own, their own echelon, right? AC/DC, they got their fans, and really, I knew about that group not just from the songs from the radio, and there's only one or two songs I heard, but really from Beavis and Butthead because they were wearing that AC/DC shirt. So I try to give it a take. Again, even getting older, giving AC/DC and that genre another shot, and hoping that the concert would change my mind. Maybe they're more melodic. There may be more better guitar riffs here and there that you would not hear in the studio album, but no, this concert is just pretty much the same as the album, just longer, louder, and more irritating for me at least. So, but if you're an AC/DC fan, definitely recommend this concert because again, it doesn't stray too far from the original album. So if you like the original stuff, this concert's basically that, no doubt. It's basically their prime. But as for trying to change an opinion like mine of that genre and AC/DC in general, nah, it hasn't changed it. Again, it emphasized what I always had thought of about hard rock, 80s hard rock. Now, Van Halen, as I mentioned earlier, they're a bit different. Now, Van Halen is basically the same era, same genre, consider that, but their music is pretty melodic. I don't know, like Jump, even the guitar. There's some catchy hooks, some catchy riffs to everything with Van Halen, and their early '90s stuff ain't bad either. After the post David Lee Roth, the Sammy Hagar, I think era wasn't bad either. They got back to more of their older roots with Sammy Hagar. So. Van Halen, and again, Van Halen, you would hear on a classic rock station that would play 70s stuff, like early 70s to late 70s. I know Van Halen's late 70s as well, but their main stuff is from the 80s. But you would hear their stuff in the classic rock 70s type station. But you would never hear AC/DC, you would never hear GNR, you won't hear Metallica, you won't hear those types of groups in a classic rock. Maybe classic rock today would be, but even then, I hardly listen to it, but when I do, I don't hear those groups at all. It's still pretty much your Led Zeppelins, the British Invasion type, even Queen. You would hear Queen, but not AC/DC. They're really its own hard rock genre that's special to that subset. So anyway, tell me what you think. Am I not listening or understanding that type of hard rock genre, 80s genre properly? I don't get it. I really don't get it. So anyway, tell me what you think. All right. If I pissed you off or anything because of that, I'm sorry, but that's my thing. I just don't get it. And again, I don't dislike the music. I just can't listen to it, especially on a semi basis. I mean, it's got to be one of those once in a blue moon type of thing where, okay, I may pick up an AC/DC album and listen to it. But tell me what you think. All right, thanks. Bye.